How's it going, everyone? Mad Spartan here, and today I'm bringing you another Contest of Champions War video. We are on War number 2 and up against Next Wave, which we have played them in the past, and they are very tough. So it's definitely, hopefully the meta is good to us, but they do have a Joe Fix-It boss. As usual, I'm not on Boss Island, but I am on 2 of the mini islands. And the first up, they did put a Havoc here. Now, I was going to bring Guardian for this fight, but unfortunately I did have a tough EMP fight, Infinity War Iron Man, and he was like Sig 80, like rank 3, like it was just absurd. And I wanted to go in with Titania, but my alliance members said that it isn't the most ideal way to go about it, because I'm going to be pretty much spending the whole game baiting specials, and I'd probably end up dying anyway. So what I ended up doing is I ended up taking Guardian off of this because I don't really need him to beat Havoc. It's really not that big of a deal. You can dex his SP2 fine, and I fight Havoc normally without anyone with an armor. So there's pretty much no different to me, especially just when he's at 39% and you literally can nuke him down with one SP3. It is a magical feeling, but I did have to bring Magneto for just an easier fight. So that was the only fight that I was sort of nervous about, that I was pretty much using the wrong champ for it, but it's not too bad. You can kind of use anyone against Havoc. All you got to do is just hold block so that he constantly throws his heavy and takes away 2 plasmas, and always have him go to the SP2 because he gets rid of, I believe, 5. But either way, it's definitely easy to do. So next up, we do have a Clairvoyant, which she gave me a lot of problems last season because the people that I was using had a ton of debuffs. So she was getting a ton of attack increase from it. But fortunately, her debuffs only last a second, and they go down actually pretty fast, and most of the time I'm in Haymaker, so it's not even like I'm taking any damage. I did do a cheeky double medium here, hoping that she would immediately throw the special. She didn't, but either way, it still works out. Do a little bit of Relic for extra damage, and then we're going to do this SP3, and just like that, she's going to be dead. And we are, flying through this. And, yeah, pretty much, that's pretty much how this war went. I was kind of flying through my fights. I took them all in one shot because I hate doing it the next day. They put an Ebony Maw on my path. Nothing really to the fight. I guess if you were to use someone who wasn't buff immune, it'd be a little difficult, because when you knock them down, you actually end up getting a Fury, so he might be able to nullify it. Now, as you can see there, I was just playing stupid. I threw another heavy with no Haymaker. I don't... Not playing the best this season, that's for sure. A lot of dumb mistakes, but it seems like everyone's having that issue, and I just don't understand why. But I'm trying to improve on it, because I was definitely annoyed with myself. And by the time I'm voiceovering this, I'm actually in my 3rd war, and I'm just playing stupid. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's the meta. I don't know if it's just I'm washed and I don't want to play this damn game anymore or what. But it was not doing very well. So he is at around 47% health here. With an SP3 and kind of 2 rotations, hopefully with the relics done, it should be able to kill, especially with class advantage. As you can see here, I do throw the heavy to make sure that he doesn't go miss in the middle of my rampage, but it didn't even matter because I ended up duplicating all the debuffs and gaining so many furies, it just wasn't even an issue. Now, this fight specifically brought Magneto for it because I didn't want any complications. I'm going to fight him just like how I learned how to fight Zemo with, and as you can see, I do miss the parry here. It's just overall scrubby this season. Just like I was saying with Zemo, though, I'm going to be just hitting him with the heavy. I'm not going to be charging it because we don't want to deal with basically the Mystic Dispersion node that they have on there. They get 8% of a bar of power every time a buff ends, and if you duplicate and you have 20 buffs that end, and they end up just going to 3 bars. And I would prefer to save my gray boosts for the Indestructibles for the real fights that I'm actually going to need them for. So it is a pretty slow, just kind of parry heavy fight. I am constantly baiting the SP1. Don't really want the SP2. I mean, I can dex either one of them, but it's easier to just get the SP1 out of the way. Now, he does have an insane amount of shock resistance, but there's also, like, it's a 70% chance that EMP isn't going to count the buff. It's a 70% chance that on the super, he's not going to give it to you. And then, you know, there's a 70% chance that not every shot goes on you. So, like, there's so much reduction that it's not even worth, like, considering, like, damage-wise. So now that we have 3 bars, I'm going to try my best to get the duplication at least twice to get hopefully over the 40 here. Now, as you can see, we did get the first one, and I do automatically just charge it with the 42, and that should be enough. If it isn't, everyone knows the shrapnel bleed will kill anyway, but it looks like it's just enough to kill just with the SP3 animation alone. So another easy fight, and like every war, it seems like I will be fighting this aggressive regen thing again. And if any of you guys recognize it, this is actually the clip I used for the other video where it was just a quick thing of just me taking aggressive regen thing. I do think it is a hard fight considering that every alliance is putting them there, and ours is constantly getting kills, so it must be something that the community is having like an overall issue with. I guess no one really thinks of Sandman because they didn't have to use him last season, I guess. But he's definitely a solid option, as you guys have seen. He just melts himself. And if you guys have any questions, you know, maybe like how to use Sandman correctly on it, you know, I'm definitely open to suggestions too. Like, I don't ever throw the SP2 because you're all about just petrifies. And I don't really throw the heavy to do the big burst damage with Sandman, because a lot of times the rotation's bad, and because they constantly charge their heavy while they're rooted. And the thing with that is, with Thing, he actually gets his protection when he does that. So yeah, you're gonna end up getting it, but he's not gonna do any damage because he has the protection, and then it messes up your counter. So it's just easier to do a simple parry 5-hit combo, parry 5-hit combo, watch his charges, and then throw the SP1. There's no reason to do the heavies or anything like that. As you guys have seen in the last few videos, it's a very simple tactic. It's just take your time with it. Now this fight, not really, just like last, like, it's not really anything to it. It's just sometimes I mess up the distance with the SP1. The dex becomes a little strange when you're like right in front of him, so I try my best to like end combos early and dash back. Now I will be throwing the SP1 here to gain my haymaker back. I do find myself a lot of times not rushing to the SP3 as fast as I would think I would. As you can see there, it was kind of a bad situation I put myself in. Not only was he unblockable from the node, he had a bar. So with indications like that, if you were to do a 5-hit combo and end the combo in his face, there's a small chance that he could either throw the special right away and then you get hit, or you can't hold block or else he'll hit you. So it's kind of a hard situation with that. So you kind of have to just take the L and throw the meter. So you end up coming out of it basically in neutral, as if you were just playing like a regular fighting game. It's all about trying to go back to neutral, because you don't want to be in a situation where they're unblockable and you either have to chance holding block that they don't throw a special, or dash back and maybe get clipped by the special. So it's kind of, it involves a lot of thinking. So as you can see, I am throwing that SP1. I did just throw an SP2. She is SIG 200, so it's a 30% chance that when you do a debuff, you put another debuff, and it ends up getting your haymaker back actually pretty fast. And as you can see there, I did use the relic stun to kind of get some distance away from him and I. He does throw the SP1, luckily, with a lot of distance between us, so it allows me to be able to kind of just do what I want there. I did want to hold block to bait the heavy. I don't know what happened. He became unblockable, got hit. I was pissed, but it could have gotten a lot worse. He could have thrown the SP2 after he hit me, and then I would have died. And yeah, I gotta say, this is the second war, but this season's something. It's definitely tough. The meta's a little strange. I think it's the first time that I've truly ever felt like one little slip up and like the whole game ends. And you know, it's not that's with any season, but specifically with this one, I just feel like you have to be on your toes every single fight. Not saying you already don't have to, but there's now there's like 4 other things you need to watch out for. Like that fight alone was unblockable from the node, his own unblockable, the regens, the rooted. There's so much to it, you know. Unblockable specials themselves, the frame, basically the frame data of a super being changed because of distance. Like there's so much to watch now that like it feels tiring at this point. One little slip up and your whole, like, there's an alliance member that fought a domino and played the fight perfect, and at the very end they got clipped with the SP2, and the last hit crit for 260,000 and they died in 1 hit. Like it's definitely such a punishing meta, which isn't typically a bad thing, you know. It definitely is hard, but the game is becoming very, very stressful and not fun at all. But maybe that's just because the meta is new. You know, we'll have to feel it out by the time the season ends and see what we want to do. But overall, I'm kind of enjoying it. I do like dexing specials while I'm rooted. I think it makes me feel like a god, like I have ultra instinct. But it seems like everyone else is having the same issue as me, so at least I'm not like crazy for thinking that this is kind of like a dry season of contest. But we have no choice. We have to play. And I do have a couple other videos coming up. Like, I do have a nice Christmas video, which ironically has nothing to do with Christmas, but it will just be posted on Christmas. Actually, I think this video might actually get posted on Christmas. That's besides the point. I do have an actual Christmas video that has nothing to do with Christmas. So look out for that. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all on the next one.